Welcome back to the JoinTheTrades.com interview series, where we talk to tradespeople and learn more about successful career paths straight from the source. Today, our guest is Katie Shonikis. She's a welder with 3 years of experience in the trade. Katie, tell us how you got started.
Hi. So I got started when I was 17. I joined the male-dominated industry. I started working at an auto parts company called Lordco. I was a driver for them. And then I started working at Napa Auto Parts, and I worked for them for about 3 years, on and off. And then right out of high school, I took a course called Trades Discovery at BCIT, and we basically just got just the gist of all the trades. You would do a week of every single different trade, and at the end of it, I loved welding, and I pretty much knew I wanted to be a welder right away when I did that week. So then the rest of the course was kind of boring for me, but I was just really excited to get out there and be a welder. But unfortunately, COVID hit in 2020, so my foundations course for welding got a little bit delayed. But I finished that, and then I just started working in shops. So I only had like my flat and horizontal tickets for welding, but I've recently just got my all position because I work on construction sites now. So I'm doing a lot more. But I guess I just did the course. That's pretty much kind of the only way you can really do it at the beginning, unless you find a shop that will hire you right as an apprentice. So
Okay. So you kind of lucked out, I guess, that there
I,
was a
yeah,
class in school.
yeah.
That's excellent. When I was younger, there were trade classes as well in high school, and then I know some schools now. I talked to some young people, and some young people are unhappy about the fact that they're not exposed to it. So you kind of fell into the right situation, huh?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned the fact that it's obviously male dominated field.
Yeah.
How good for you, by the way. Great to have you there.
Yeah.
How was that experience? Did you find any kind of dynamics that were interesting?
Um, I mean, like, of course, yes, it's never super easy,
Sure.
unfortunately, being a woman in the trades. You deal with a lot of just unfairness and just not always getting taken seriously. I think that's my biggest problem, especially sometimes just people see the way I look, and they just immediately assume that I'm useless or can't do anything. And so for someone like me, I got to work like 10 times harder to be able to prove myself in this industry. But honestly, like, if you got it, like, you got it, and you just have to have a strong mind, and you can't let those people, you know, like, make you upset. I don't know how else to put it. You just gotta like block it out, and everybody's here to do a job. I come to work. I don't come to work for attention. I don't come to work to clown around. As much as I try to have fun at work, but I'm there to do my job, and it's usually the people around me that make it hard for me because I just want to work. I love my job, and I do have a strong passion for welding, so I've been able to power through pretty well so far.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, well, so it sounds like obviously welding just hit you like a brick. You were
Yeah.
like, clearly this is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I love welding. Like, I have so many career goals, and I'm just getting started. I'm only 21, and I feel like I'm behind. And there's
No.
so much I want to do. Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit before we get started on your day. Tell us a little bit about what opportunities there are that you are looking forward to. What direction can you head with welding?
So right now I'm in structural steel. So I'm in just like commercial construction. But like, there's different industries. Like, there's industrial construction. Like, there's the agricultural. Like, there's structural steel, of course. Like, there's pipeline welding. There's shop welding. All sorts of stuff like that. But um, like, for me, like, I really want to do underwater welding at some point. That's a huge goal. I know everybody will have their own opinion about how that's going to go. Like, there's a short lifespan. It's not good for you, whatever. I don't plan on doing it for my whole life. I just wanted to do it for maybe 6 months to a year. I just want to like explore the world. I want to try new types of welding, try new types of construction. Like, it's just the stuff I'm really interested in. And like, honestly, the opportunities are endless for the type of jobs you can get as a welder. So
Cool. Yeah. Good for you. And I was excited that you mentioned that underwater welding because I've
Yeah.
always been fascinated by how cool
I'm
that is.
so fascinated by it. Like I've seen videos. I even saw this one woman actually doing it. I was like, that's awesome. Like I want to be that girl. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, walk us through like what at this current stage of your career a day is like.
Okay. So I wake up at 5:15 because I have to commute like 45 minutes to work in the morning. So I'm up. I just like I guess I don't know. I just get ready. I drive to work. I get to work. We're allowed to park on site, which is great. Some sites you're not. This one I'm scared because there's nails in the in the ground, but it's nice being able to park on some sites because it's just I have all my tools in a job box in the back of my truck, so it's just easier for me to walk to my truck. But yeah, I will usually talk to my foreman, and then I will go grab all my welding leads. Honestly, I'm on the weaker side of people, so it usually takes me a little bit longer to set up all my leads in the morning because they're heavy. And sometimes I have to drag a welder. So there is a little bit of like strength sometimes because some of the rolls of leads are like 100 feet, and you have to like carry them over your shoulders, and
Wow.
not always easy for like me sometimes. So um, like where I was, the task that I was doing the last few days at work, I had to throw all my leads over like a big cement, like a big wall. So that like it honestly it took me like half an hour to set up in the morning. So by that point, and it's already like 30 degrees over here in Vancouver, so I'm just sweating already. But it's good exercise, I guess. But yeah, and then I guess I'll get the directions from my foreman of what I need to weld that day. And I guess I just get it done. I get everything set up, get my heat settings good, get myself in position, get everything I need. So then there's less like walking back and forth to do. Sometimes I'm working up at height, so I'll have to like fill out inspection forms for the equipment, or fill out like harness inspection forms, stuff like that, safety forms. But sometimes the tasks are pretty mild. Like sometimes I'm just sitting on the ground welding, and it's pretty easy. Um, and then I usually, depending on whatever job I'm doing at the time, it's usually 8 to 10 hours. Right now I'm working eights, so I'm out of there by 3. It's good. And then it's another hour and a half commute home. Relax.
Okay. Well, good for you. That's a long day, but
Yeah.
it works for you at this point, huh?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I really enjoy it. So honestly, some like when you get a really good job, this is a personal opinion, but I find when you get a really good job, it almost doesn't even feel like work. Like if you got a
Right.
good crew and you like what you're doing, and everybody's chill and nobody's being a meanie, to put it in nicer words. Um, Honestly, yeah, it doesn't even feel like a job to me sometimes. It's great.
Yeah, I mean that's the old adage, right? Like if you love what you do, you don't work a
Yeah,
day in your life.
yeah, honestly, you got to find what you love and like make that your career, and you'll be happy. Personally, that's how I roll.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so you've addressed obviously you feel at this point that it's mostly positive, mostly pros.
Yeah,
Um,
I
are there any cons that you've discovered?
I mean, of course. I've been laid off a couple times. Like I've been like mistreated by foremans, by companies. Like I've been harassed. I've been bullied. Like I've been, like I've had men try to really make me cry and like make me upset. And I guess yeah, it really just that's kind of the only real down. Oh, I guess like the manual labor aspect of things. I get burnt a lot. Like I have a third-degree burn scar on my hands. Like I
Oh,
got doing overhead welding last week, so I got burns like all over my arms. Like I got we call them welder tattoos, so I got them everywhere. Um, it can be like pretty labor intensive sometimes, depending on like for example, on Friday I was like up a huge ladder, and I had to like have all my leads up there. Like there's ways around it. Like you can wrap your leads around your neck so you're not having to hold all the weight and stuff. But sometimes like holding your arms up for like a vertical weld or a horizontal or overhead weld, when you're like up on a ladder like that and you're still trying to remain 3 points of contact on the ladder, that was pretty tough. And my arms are pretty sore. Um, so yeah, like there's physical downsides, unfortunately. Like especially like in the summer, like I'm just dying at work right now. It's like by 7 in the morning, like I'm already sweating, and the entire day. Sometimes I'm not even in the shade. I have to be in the beating sun all day. But you just kind of have to, what's the word? Like work around it. Like I can get an umbrella, like a big beach umbrella, and cover myself in the shade. You just got to adapt to
Yeah.
it. Honestly, it's all about adapting. Seriously, like I can go from one job right now and go to a job tomorrow that's completely different people, completely different type of things, and I might have completely different struggles. It's all about adapting to the industry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's unfortunate that you've had to deal with some
Yeah.
adversity there, but I'm impressed and I'm
Yeah.
inspired that you're
That's
so tough.
that's something that you kind of like as a woman or to everyone honestly you kind of have to know that like going into it or you're not gonna make it. Like if I went into this like sensitive and just like oh everything's making me upset, like I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't keep a job. Like I people would see me as whiny and not good to work with, and like that brings down morale. And yeah, like don't get me wrong, I have my days. Like I am still a woman. I still get emotional sometimes, obviously, but you really gotta try not to bring that to work. As hard as it sounds, like obviously it's easier said than done. But like I said, like you can't go into this industry weak-minded, unfortunately. Like or else you will not have a good time. You will not survive. So
Well, those are good things to know for sure.
yeah,
Um, that being said, anyone out there that's listening to you,
yeah.
I have no doubt that they're inspired and impressed by you. But who do you think is suited for this?
Anyone that can put their mind to it, seriously, you know what I mean. Like I come across girls on who comment on my TikTok or who have reached out to me and asked me for advice, and I will encourage any woman to go into the trades. I'll encourage everybody to go into the trades. If
Right.
you have the if you want to do it, like you'll do it. Anybody can do this job. You can do it if you choose to do it. You got to work for it. It's
Sure.
not always easy at first, and like I had a teacher when I was in trades, my welding instructor, like he told us, you're gonna have hard times, like you're gonna get let down by jobs, like you're gonna want to quit, but just persevere, power through it. That's really all you can do. And he was right. Like I had so many times where I felt so defeated, and I contemplated switching careers. And at the end of the day, like nobody has the power except for you. You know what I mean? Like you have the power to work through it, and that's pretty much as simple as you can be. Like anybody can do this job. You just got to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point you make for sure. I try to always keep it in perspective with everything that the
Yeah,
battle's not outside, the battle's inside, and you can get
exactly.
through it.
Yeah. So
Right.
to be fair, I mean, depending on some of the types of welding you do, sometimes out of position welding can be hard. But like welding, I'd say is probably the least one of the least labor intensive trades in my opinion. Like I did the trades discovery course, right? And I did carpentry where I was carrying lumber over my shoulder. I didn't really like that. Like I did plumbing and we had to carry like cast iron pipes over our shoulder. Like I said, I'm not the biggest girl, so I definitely went to a trade that required the least amount of labor, like strength. So there's that.
No, you're buff. You're
Oh,
buff.
I'm huge.
Okay. Well, that's very useful. Have you found that you talk about some of the issues that sometimes are on a site, but generally is the camaraderie good amongst employees?
I gotta say, it really depends on your employer. So the last couple employers I've had, including the one I have right now, great, very
Yeah.
respectful. As a woman, or just even as a worker, like I love being able to show up on a site, not have anyone ask questions, just put me to work, give me my task, and then I can just go do it and not have to deal with anything else. And so, but however, I have worked for companies where that wasn't the case, and like I was always looked at as like the little girl, and like I had to be completely watched over at all times. I don't like being micromanaged. Nobody likes that. Like
Sure.
that's stressful. That gives me anxiety. I don't like that. Like having someone. So, I love being able to like have a foreman or have a boss that just like knows that I can weld, knows that I show up, and just lets me do my job. So it
Yeah.
really depends on your employer, because unfortunately I have had employers that like I was basically like the site toy, unfortunately. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, you come across as an incredibly capable, independent person. So
Thank
I'm
you.
sure you're going to be fine in the long run, and people are going to, in the long run, respect that out of you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Like you have to keep pushing through, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't let anybody get me down now. Like I'm just starting my career and I got so much I want to do. I got goals. Like I at some point want to have my own rig. That's kind of my goal in the next year-ish. So I'm really working toward that right now. And you know what I mean? If I let every man who like has ever made me cry or made me upset at work like get me down, like I wouldn't be in this industry. I would have quit by now, right? So
Right.
I would have quit the first job I had.
Right.
I had a supervisor at my very first job who like harassed me. And I quit after 3 months, but like yeah, that was my first job. Like it's not always easy, unfortunately, but like I said, on to the next. Like you just gotta go find. There's so many jobs. Like especially I'm in the city. I'm in Vancouver. Like there is so much going up around me right now. Like high rise here, house here, high rise here, warehouse here. Like so much construction in the city. There's work everywhere. You'll find work if you want to find work. You don't have to. And I always I say to people, the money is not worth staying at a place that makes you unhappy. And I speak for everybody when I say this. You might be making $50 an hour, but if your boss treats you like crap, you know, like people treat you like crap, the morale isn't good. Like you're not doing what you want to do. Like why would you stay? Like why would you stay somewhere that's not making you happy? Like I'm constantly chasing happiness. Like I cannot stay at a workplace where I'm miserable. Like who? Why? I no longer want to do my job at that point, right? And
Yeah.
work's a huge distraction for me. Like I love welding. I feel like when the hood drops, everything stops. You know, it's great. So yeah, and I couldn't imagine having to stay at a place that like makes me miserable. I have for some jobs for too long, and so you just like right now, my boss right now, he's great. He's awesome. I didn't even have like I got referred to him by another guy, and as far as he knew, I was a welder. I showed up, and that's it. And that's put me to work, and that's great. That's the type of people you got to find. Some of the bigger companies aren't usually as good for that, unfortunately, because to them you really are just a number, as bad as it sounds. But when you find like a smaller, like I'm working for a smaller steel erection company right now, and so like I'm pretty much on a crew of like there's like 4 or 5 other guys I work with, and like 3 other welders. Um, so it's a relatively like smaller company, but we're a team, we're a crew. Like everybody's like a family, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are wise words, Katie, and I'm sure everyone out there appreciates it. I think you're awesome.
Thank you.
I'm Yeah, I think you're rad. So
Thank
good
you.
for you.
I appreciate
And
that.
I'm sure as time goes on, more and more people are going to realize that you've got a whole lot to offer.
I hope so too. Honestly, people do really underestimate me, and it sucks because I got a lot to offer. Like this is usually like my pitch to people is so I took a job in the agricultural industry where I was doing like a lot more than just welding, and at first I didn't enjoy it because I just wanted to be a welder. But then it opened my eyes to the fact that there's so much, like, why be good at one thing when you can be good at everything, right? So like right now I feel like I could build a house. Like okay, maybe not, but like I learned a lot of stuff just being in the industry. I haven't even been in the industry that long per se. Like I'm only 21, and like there's so much more I'm gonna learn,
Yeah.
and I'm excited for that. Like I could do side work. Like I've thought about getting a business card and just offering out my services to people, like handyman services, anything. So like there is a lot more than just welding, I know, like for my future. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's so cool. You're such a go-getter. Talk to us about what getting your own rig means.
Oh, like a welding rig, like a truck. So I'm a Chevy girl right now, so I'll probably get a Duramax. But you gotta get like it's not easy. Like you gotta get a leveling kit in there. Like it's gotta be a dually. Like it's gonna have so much weight back there, right? But I don't even think I probably won't even like that's pretty unrealistic for someone brand new. Like I'm hoping to be able to purchase a newer vehicle, like a newer truck in the next little while, and maybe just put like a miller welder in the back and just have the basics for what I need right now. And obviously, like as stuff gets rolling, like and you build clientele and you get more money, like things will I'll upgrade things. So, but for now, I'll probably be starting small and just putting a welder in the back of my truck. I'll have some rigging. I'll have some things for I don't know, like steel, welding steel. I don't know. We'll see.
Cool.
It's not like it's not a plan that's gonna happen anytime soon. So
Sure, but you're plugging away towards it.
what's that?
I said you're plugging away. You
Yeah,
got it.
I'm working on it.
Okay, so you're working for a company right now.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have your own welder and eventually your own rig, then does that allow you to basically just freelance, to just work for
Yeah,
yourself?
pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
And that's where you'd like to be at some point?
Well, yeah, that's kind of where you make the most money. Like, and especially like places I'm pretty sure they'll pay you for your mileage. Like if you're driving your own like work vehicle, like with your rig, like they'll be paying you from the minute you hop in your truck to the minute you hop out of your truck. And
Cool.
I mean, I don't know if you know how much those people make, but
They're doing all right.
good experience too. That's the thing. It's something I always forget. Is it's not always about the money, because I've taken jobs with a slight pay cut just for experience, just to learn something new, just to try
Mhm.
something new. I don't always recommend that sometimes. Like taking a pay cut's never smart, but I mean, I'm young enough that I can do that right now. So yeah. So I recommend to all my like young tradespeople coming into the industry right now, do not worry about the money. Do unless you obviously like there's different circumstances. I get that. People
Sure.
have to pay, but you know what I mean. When you're starting, and the teachers will recommend this to you as well. Don't worry about the money. Get the experience. Like become a good worker. Like build your resume, and then the money will come to you. So
Cool. Well, you address other people, you address young people that may be looking.
yeah.
If there are young people out there watching this right now and they'd be interested in getting rolling, how would you suggest they get started?
Um, enroll in your local trade school. Find a shop. Literally, just make a resume. I have a bundle of little resumes in my truck for anybody that I see. Honestly, like you never know. I might be passing by a place that I might be interested in working there, and it doesn't hurt to just stop by, talk to the foreman, talk to the superintendent, whatever. Try and get your name. Try and get your foot in the door. Like you really just got to put yourself out there and just you gotta just go for it. Some people get luckier and they can find a shop that will just or a place that will just hire them as an apprentice right away. I didn't go that route. I took my 6.5 months foundations course and then I found a job, but I could have probably found a job somewhere, and then they'll put you through school if you choose to do that. But sometimes I don't always. This might be a hot take, but I just don't always recommend this sometimes, just because, like I said, it's all about the experience, and if you're stuck in the same place for your full apprenticeship, like you're literally only learning one thing. Like I've done a few types. Like I've done aluminum welding, I've done stick welding, I've done flux core welding, MIG welding. Like I've been able to learn different types of welding solely for the fact that I never stayed at one place. Like if I stayed at my first job that I had and became an apprentice with them, I'd still be working in a trailer shop right now. And I wouldn't be where I am right now. I'd be making $18 less. So, yeah, dude, like you can't stay stagnant. Like maybe I'm just hyper and I move too quick, but I always got to keep moving. If this job doesn't work out, there's another job waiting for me.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing information, Katie.
yeah.
Thank you very much. You're a very cool woman, and
Thank
you have a lot to offer.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I don't know. I guess everyone just keep killing it, keep doing it. Don't give up. I hope I never give up. I hope I always can keep doing this, and yeah. If anyone ever reach out to me, feel free. I love to answer questions.
Cool. I can't see you giving up. I have no doubt you're going to go far.
Thank you. I really feel that.
Hey, if anyone, I'm
Hard on.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying it feels nice to hear that. Sometimes I'm really hard on myself sometimes.
No, I understand, but I think you should be proud of who you are and what you've accomplished. Congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Hey, so if anyone did want to reach out, I mean, are you on social media? Is there anywhere they'd like to do that?
Yeah, my TikTok is probably the best place. That's where I post most of my like welding related stuff. It's the blonde welder.
Cool.
My Instagram is just my name, Katie Shonikis. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Katie, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna make a difference in your own life, and I feel like you're gonna make a difference in other people's as well. So,
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
all right, take care of yourself.
Okay, you as well. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.